Yes, people. Yes, people. Yes, people. We're back. We're live in the flesh. It's the preview show. Biggest game of the season. Arsenal versus Tottenham. Let's do this. Yes, 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 yes. We're joined by the infamous Aussie Gooner. How you keeping, brother?
Oh, I'm fucking feeling great, man. How you going, mate? All right?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah, mate. Just like I said, I was in the theater yesterday and I'm checking my phone constantly. The woman's trying to torture me to say, put your phone away. And I'm thinking, I've got to keep an eye on the score. I'm seeing 0-0, 10 men. I'm thinking, surely not. I just put it down thinking we're not going to hold on to that. And to my surprise, yeah, I come out and saw 0-0. I was buzzing for the lads. So, yeah, you watched the game. Obviously, I haven't fully seen it back yet, but what's your kind of take on the game? And, yeah, what's your take on it all?
Bro, never can die attitude, like we were saying before. I mean, it's great to see. I mean, after the City game, I started to see it. I'm starting to see the belief in the players' eyes. I mean, we had a makeshift squad against Liverpool. Let's be honest. It was friggin' Band-Aid Arsenal versus
Yeah.
Liverpool, yeah? But we turned up.
Mm.
Our boys down at 10 men with a Granite Xhaka friggin',
Masterclass.
bicycle kick in the head of Jota. I mean, acrobatic as it was, whatever. Still showed up for the game. They didn't put their heads down. And let's be honest, Liverpool didn't have a shot on goal that was on target until what, 92, 93 minutes?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Like, I was thinking, is my phone bugging up when I'm refreshing and I'm saying no shots on target? I heard they missed the open goal or something. I haven't seen it back.
Minamino. Goals
Sky Gone.
open. Ramsdale's out of the goal. He's jumped out. It's White in between the sticks. He's saying it's me and you. And what now? Minamino goes and over the fucking bar. So Ben White has just put the scare into Minamino. And
That's
it's like
brilliant.
shit. I'm telling you, Ben White, player of the game, mate. Like
You know,
everybody was making fun of us for that signing. And look at him now, eh?
yeah, he's turned out to be a right gem. And again, if you can get some good years out of him, he's such a young age still. And yeah, from what everyone was saying, people not say we've questioned him defensively, but Gabriel's kind of been more of the rock, and Ben White's been more of the football player as such. But
Mm.
from what I'm hearing yesterday, he really showed up defensively and led and got his head to everything, body in front of everything. Like, so yeah, I'm gonna watch it back fully just so I can see actually that performance. I think I'm looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, fair play to the boys, and we're not
Yeah.
gonna mention his name on these streams, but number 34, he just keeps doing it against them,
Shaquille
and it's
O'Neal.
always the big two. It's always the big teams, isn't it? Like you look at his
Eh,
record against Liverpool and City this year: three
eh,
games, two reds, one penalty.
mm.
It's like you can't keep persisting with this guy in these games. He just lets us
Man,
down time and time again.
oh,
So
he's like this is the kind of guy, and I said it in my preview for the Tottenham game. Like, this is the kind of guy that'll get a red card at the bus stop. Fucking, I swear to God, man. Uh, Something like he didn't need to make the move. He'd
yeah,
already shut the angle down. I know he's looking at the ball, but don't give me that shit peripheral vision. You know who's beside you. But anyway, it's
yeah.
it's done. It's dusted now, and Liverpool have got the pressure on them now because they did not show up.
Yeah, and yeah, this at Anfield anyway. You're thinking, right, it's a long day for us. But when you saw the lineup, I'm thinking it's even longer day now. We've got no players available,
Mm.
and then going down to 10 men in what the 25th minute or something crazy like that, 26th minute.
Yeah,
Um,
it was about 24, 25 minutes. We lost Cedric.
yeah,
Cedric was early. He picked up a niggle. Callum came in, and then we had Granit Xhaka debacle. And
mm,
from about 25, 20, 24 minutes into the game, we were down to 10 men. And to be perfectly honest, we actually had a shot on target in that game before Liverpool.
yeah, that's crazy. It's unheard of,
Fucking hell.
absolutely unheard of. But let's just hope now we got a little bit left in the tank to go again this
Mm.
Sunday because this is a relatively quiet North London derby. Like, are you energized for it? Because I just
I'm
I don't know if
G'd.
I'm looking in the wrong places, but I can't really feel much from anywhere else. Like so,
I'm G'd. It's
yeah,
12:30, 1 o'clock at night, and I'm doing my North London friggin' derby preview fucking because I'm G'd for this game.
you're
I
legendary.
want 3, and I think we're gonna get 3,
Yeah,
regardless of that team. Seriously, bro.
yeah. I feel a win, and I think don't know if that's why maybe it feels a bit quieter. I think maybe the Tottenham
Mm,
fans are a bit in their cave at the moment. They're not really trying to stick it on us too much. But I feel Arsenal, hopefully, well, I believe we'll do the double over them this year. And I think that
yeah,
result yesterday, the Man City game, will give us some belief to say we can go into these big fixtures away from home and hold our own and, do you know what I mean, deliver. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the biggest issue is players. So,
yeah.
report came out this morning about maybe missing a few players. And then Arteta, I don't know if he hinted at we may have to cancel the game, but would you rather just go for it with what we got? Or would you say actually let's be sensible? Let's maybe get this one, try and get this one called off and replay them when we've got players back. Because again, if that gets delayed a few weeks, you never know. You may have a Partey back. You may have a Pepe back.
Mm,
El Nene, you might have a new sign in. Again, we don't know with
Vlahovic,
the
yeah.
injuries. Tomiyasu could be back. Don't know how long Smith Rowe and Odegaard are out. So if we get this delayed, we can be going in with say 6, 7 players back in that team. So would that be something you go for, or do you feel the belief is there and we've got the players to go and take them on this time?
Well, I honestly thought that we'd see Odegaard come back because I heard in the UK that the quarantine period for a COVID positive case was going down to 5 days. So I
Yeah,
presume that that was now, but it's not. That's going to be from coming Monday.
right.
So no, so there's no Odegaard. I was like, Odegaard's going to come back. It'll be fine. We'll get him in,
Yeah.
but that's not going to happen. So
Mm.
do we go at him now with the run that we're on and with the holes in the squad? Um, it's hard to say. I like the vibe of the team right now. The any player who comes in, I'm noticing knows his role, knows what he has to do, and gets it done. And I don't want to lose this consistency.
Mm.
But the smart money. If we're not going to see Odegaard come back, then the smart money would be to, if we can play the game at a later stage, and the FA
Yeah,
don't just say it's Arsenal, then the smart money would be on postponing the
yeah,
game and playing it at a later stage. But
yeah, definitely. Because I think from Tottenham's team, the only person I know of being out of any substance is
Son,
Son. Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's it. And whereas yeah, we're missing a lot of players. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But going through the team,
mm.
there's injuries all over. So I'm not too sure how long Smith Rowe is meant to be out for. Don't know if you've heard anything different. It was a groin strain last week, I believe it was. So I'm presuming it's still the same thing. I think that makes a
I heard
difference if he's available. But
I heard Tommy might be back for this game. I heard
right,
Tomiyasu could be back for this game. So that means if he does come back and he plays the right back role, we'd have
mm.
a complete back line, and that means you could have a Callum Chambers sit beside Sambi Lokonga in the midfield,
Would you
right?
would you do that, or would you go holding centre back and Ben White centre midfield? What would you do?
So you know what? I had that discussion where it was like, can we put Ben White as a centre mid? And I was like, I'd rather not. I'd rather leave Ben White in the back four. I'd rather leave him next to Gabriel where he's comfortable. I'd rather not mix up the defensive line.
Yeah,
That means we're guaranteed more than likely not to leak a goal. You could chuck in your Callum Chambers beside Sambi Conga. If that don't work out, you can always throw in a Patino. If that don't work out, you can also we've got another junior. I think he's from the Netherlands. I've been hearing some good things about him. I mean,
right.
Prince Wade actually talks him up. But we're in the midfield. We've got gaps. So
Mm.
I was hoping we could play a 4-2-3-1 if our boy Odegaard was going to come back, but right now it doesn't look like that's going to happen
Yeah,
without dropping a different player into that position. So I'd rather have Callum Chambers sitting beside Sambi Lokonga, mainly because the guy's played in the midfield before. He can sit back in a line. He can lie deep, and Lokonga can move forward.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. I kind of agree with you. I feel keep the back line as strong as possible.
mm,
As much as it makes sense to kind of play Holding because Holding's probably a better player. He's got more minutes under his belt this year than Chambers, so you'd rather bring Holding in in first instance, but at the same time, you don't really want to weaken too
The
much
back
at the
line.
back because
Yeah.
because it's not like Ben White going to midfield is a natural midfielder
Nah,
where you can see the benefits of it. Like either way, the midfield's going to be weaker. Um,
exactly. Might
so
as well have one
actually,
part of the field that's slightly weaker instead of two sections, which would be the defense and the midfield, and that means we
definitely,
might leak a goal.
definitely, I agree with that. So yeah, but potentially Chambers to start. It's going to be interesting. I think ESR is going to be if we can get him back fit, that gives us other options. Because again, I think if he's not playing, then we're looking at Nketiah up front again, maybe Lacazette behind, or 4-4-2, or do we change it and go three at the back?
Well,
With the personnel you got, we know Tottenham kind of play a three at the back, so do we match them? Um,
we could. I mean, we could drop Lacazette into that number 10 role where Odegaard sits. And I know it's like Lacazette, really. If anyone's watched him play, this guy spends more time sitting back and linking up play than he does
yeah,
sitting forward. And you could have your Nketiah up front in front of Lacazette, and you could still play a 4-2-3-1 if you really want to play a 4-2-3-1
yeah,
with Lacazette playing that number 10 role because
yeah,
it's not like he hasn't got a hard work rate. Plus, defensively, think of it
mm,
this way: look at Lacazette. For a couple of times we said it. I think me and you is like the guy's he's like a CDM.
yeah.
He
He
comes
gets
back.
stuck in. Yeah,
Yeah. So you'd put him if you put him in as a number 10, any sort of trouble that you might have from Lokonga might losing the ball, this and that, your Lacazette's
mm,
going to go back and drag it in. And Nketiah, well, the man who has something to prove, he doesn't want to sign a contract. Well,
mm.
you want something to prove. You want suitors to come knocking on your door. Prove something in the North London derby. You could throw Nketiah up front and see if
He's in the
he's going
game.
to. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, Nketiah doesn't do the good job. You throw him onto the wing and put Martinelli up front.
Yeah, or even as I said, you still got Tavares. I think defensive one position where we actually got a lot of options. So again, we could play
True
Tavares on
that.
the left wing, or if
True
you
that.
went to a five at the back, you could have Tavares in at left wing back, Tierney left centre back, Gabriel
Yeah.
Ben White, or again you use Holding and Chambers, and do you know what I mean? It swings a bit to the left, so then Tierney becomes your left wing back, and Gabriel Holding Ben White or Chambers, wherever it works. So there's options.
Mm,
I think we have to obviously we're going to utilize the back line, and that's where your options are most definitely. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we do in terms of formation shape. But I think one thing we're expecting from these players is just they're going to fight and believe. And from what they've shown on Thursday night, I think
exactly.
it's going to be a hard game
Exactly.
for anyone that plays against us if we play like that and show that
Look,
determination and fight.
and look, if you're Conte right now, you're worried. You're worried
Mm,
because you've got a team that's coming in with desire and belief. And they're a team that's like,
yeah,
they're not phased about who's in front of them. They've just, look, against Manchester City, we should have won that game. If we didn't go down to 10 men, we would have won that
hundred
game,
percent,
right?
100%. Yeah.
Liverpool right now, we're missing what, two players? And what now?
Mm.
What happened there?
Three,
So these
three,
guys are
yeah,
sitting there
three.
going, yeah. But I mean, if you look at their back line
Keita's
and if
not
you
even a
look at,
starter. Yeah, Keita's not a starter for me. So it's really
he
Mane and
comes on and
Salah,
off
the
the
two that make sense.
bench.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's the impact player off the bench. He does a
mm,
job. But
yeah,
I looked at it and said, Mane, Salah missing. The rest of the squad's here.
mm,
And what now? So these guys are coming into this game driven. If you're Antonio Conte, and this is the Conte effect, and he's supposed to be something special for Tottenham, he ain't done much yet.
no,
They didn't look anything special against Chelsea. And again, in the Premier League, let's be honest, the lucky draw against Southampton and a very lucky win against Watford, I ain't convinced.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
actually more convinced with Arsenal, even though I'm an Arsenal supporter. Yeah, it is what it is. But let's be honest, Tottenham ain't convincing. I think Tottenham aren't convinced of Tottenham right now. And if anything, they won't. I mean, this is the best time to play Arsenal, but for Tottenham, it's never the right time to play Arsenal this season because we got your
yeah, yeah,
number.
yeah. We're coming for them. We're coming for them. Right, we're gonna get to
Oh,
some comments because there's a lot in here. Um, Nigerian son, he's saying, "How is 34 even a footballer?" I question this. It's because he's left-footed. I've said it from a while. If he wasn't left-footed, he would never have gone this far. Not saying he's a bad player, but when you're left-footed, there's limited left-footed players, so you always stand a
mm,
chance to get in a squad somewhere. So yeah, it makes a big difference for him, I think, being left-footed. And he's saying he should play rugby or Aussie football, Aussie rules. He should play Aussie rules where he can use his feet, but also could just run and
AFL,
smash
mate.
people.
AFL, he'd work in perfectly in AFL, mate. Rough
We're
as
gonna
guts
get him
game.
retrained. Yeah, we're getting retrained. He'll
Yeah.
enjoy it as well. He can put a tackle in. He'll enjoy it. Yeah, this background is better. Silver Fox, sea of red. North London is red forever. We agree. Um, Ben White might have to play DM with Sambi against Spurs. So we touched on that earlier. We said we'd rather
Mm.
see Chambers in there just to keep the back line a bit more solid. Um, Phil Fox said Wilshire's starting. Mm. Phil Fox. And this comment here, we just know what this is about. I'd rather bring in Holden in and White play CDM. Yeah, I think I'm not going to complain for either or, but time will tell.
Nah.
Um, this is an interesting
Nah.
one. This is an interesting one. At this time, keep White at centre back. So he's agreeing with us and play Chambers. Miguel Aziz, if he's eligible, he's been recalled to the squad. So yeah, I
Mm.
just quickly jumped on internet to see if that had happened because I know we recalled some players last week. But it seems like this morning we terminated Aziz's loan with Portsmouth. So whether again we can get him registered in time, maybe he might won't start, but he'll probably be in the squad. But it's not a bad option. We could play a 5-0-2-2-1. Yeah. Who is playing in place of Son for Spurs? We know he's out for the game. So they've been playing with Mora and Kane up front, haven't they? And I
Yeah.
think the Celso in behind with like a Winks and Hoiberg or something like that. Um, yes, people make sure you keep smashing the likes, keep the comments coming. Jason, they play a 3-5-2 with a midfielder, Hoiberg, Celso, and Winks or Skips. Yeah, that was it. Uh, he hasn't been watching them. No one watches Spurs, to be fair to you, Jason.
Look,
So
you know what, guys. Before no one watches them, I don't watch them either. But whenever I hear people talking shit about world class manager, I say, okay, let's see a world class manager. So I started watching them. I'm not impressed.
yeah, they haven't looked great. Yes, the results have been better, but I think apart from Chelsea, they've had relatively easy
Easy.
teams. A bit like Ragnick, where he came in at the right time, so they got with the hard fixtures out of the way, brought him in. So his record looks really good. He hasn't lost a game, say, until the Wolves game, but he hadn't played anyone. And and he wasn't even outstanding in them games. Do you know what I mean? He's
Nah,
1-0 against Norwich, 1-0 with Newcastle. Like it wasn't great. It wasn't great,
bro.
but
The Southampton
um,
game, shit, mate. They got away with
yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. So I don't think there's nothing for us to be scared of, even with players missing. I don't think there's anything to be scared of. And I think
I
the
think
most
Tottenham
important
fear
part
us.
is, yeah, and the most important part is defensively we're strong. So hopefully we can combat Harry Kane. The biggest fear for me is he's one goal away from 250 career goals, and this
Harry
is
who?
Arsenal. Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope
Harry
so.
Harry penalty. Oh, he's
Yeah,
gonna he'll get a pen.
yeah,
Harry
yeah.
score in open play. Yeah, bullshit. The guy thinks he's a left back. You know what? I'm not phased about Harry Kane.
Definitely.
He was up here. What was he worth? Over 100 million. He's
Yeah.
right down here now. So Conte,
Got
that money that you thought you were going to get with that sale, I get more
not
money for
happening now.
Xhaka.
Right, we have a special guest waiting in the back room.
Oh no,
He's star boy. This guy here. He's
Tottenham
wearing the
fan.
red as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
now
Oh my man, my boy, how
my
you
people,
doing?
my people. What's good, bro? Yeah, we're all read it out. Love it, love it.
all red,
Red on
all
red on
red.
red, man.
How you keeping? You alright?
I'm good, man. I'm just in the mix of watching this Senegal versus Guinea game, man.
Yeah, still no.
Senegal, yeah, they were the favourites for me going into this tournament alongside Algeria, but they've been playing wash, man. Guinea should be at least 1-0 up.
Serious.
Mm.
Not bad, boys. How you feeling after yesterday?
Bruv, relieved. Relieved we got through those 90 minutes. But we got away from Anfield without conceding a goal. That is the most impressive part for me. And with 10 men. Because if you look at our previous, 4 visits there, we've not conceded any less than 3 goals, bro.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And then with arguably our worst lineups in the last
Yeah.
few years there,
yeah.
we managed to escape with a 0-0, man. You got to big up the players, but I'm just nervous what that means coming into Sunday because they ran up and down like maniacs, especially man like Martinelli. Saka looked a little bit dodgy. Cedric's injured. Like, I don't know if Tommy's going to be back on Sunday or not. Bruv, I don't know, man. If I've been against Jack Wilshere, but if there's one game, if he can sign a contract for one game, bruv, I'm telling you, the guy's gonna have
Super
a
Jack.
worldie in that game. Yeah, Super
Yeah,
Jack
yeah.
give him 60 minutes against Spurs, bruv. He's gonna have a world of a game. I terminate the contract after that game, but
Yeah,
for this game, he
that's a
loves a
one
good game
game
against
only.
Spurs.
One
Yeah,
game
bro.
only, one game only. But yeah, no, so just go to what I caught up on some of the comments. Yeah, me and Ozzy spoke about the lineup. So what we was talking about is how do we plug this hole in midfield? So suggestion was, do we play Holding and put Ben White in midfield, or do we keep the back four as strong as possible and then put Chambers in the midfield? So what would you do, or would you change the shape and kind of go over 5 at the back and just 2 in midfield, and then work out the rest as we work it out?
I would bring in Holding and put Ben White in midfield, to be honest. Like, because man of the match performance last night, like no one was getting past Ben. He was like a snatch, like proper old school centre back performance, like a Steve Bold kind of Martin Keown type of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? He was unstoppable yesterday. I wouldn't quite say Tony because that's my guy in it. I wouldn't quite say Tony.
No. Martin Keown. We got Ben White, Martin Keown. We got Gabriel being the new Tony Adams, and that duo is looking fucking primo.
Immense, man. But even Ben was cleaning up for Gabriel and everyone last night. So I wouldn't, because of his ball carrying skills, I prefer him versus Chambers. Even though Chambers played a solid defensive role last night, I get nervous every time I see him in the Arsenal team. I'm not gonna lie to you. And every time he has a good game, I'm thinking, okay,
when's the
he's
bad
not gonna
one?
have do you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna have back-to-back
What's the
good games.
catch?
So, so as much as it'll hurt me to say it, Tony will be happy. Like I wouldn't mind just throwing in Holdinho in the centre back for that game. Because what else have we got, bruv? Like if we don't, I don't know, man.
And I think, and again, I think it's very dependent. I think it's very dependent on the ESR situation as well. I feel maybe the change to a 5, even though you don't want to. We're working well with the 4, but defensively is where we got all the numbers. So even with, do you know what I mean, a 5, you could put Tavares wing back, Tierney left centre back, Gabriel, Ben White, Chambers, and Holding, Ben White, Chambers, Tomiyasu. There's so many options there, and whichever one then doesn't play there can go in centre midfield with Lokonga, and then almost have Saka in the 10, Martinelli and Lacazette up front, or Laka in that 10 and Saka and Martinelli stretching the game. I don't know, but I think we can make something work with it. And I think the form we're in and the belief we got in the camp, I think we'll be all right. So are you nervous going into this one, Nigel? There's a comment here. Let me try and find it quickly. Here we go. Do you think this weekend is Conte's first proper test as Spurs manager, given who they have played, disregarding cup game against Chelsea? And I think they played Chelsea in the league and got a draw. But apart from that, they haven't really played anyone of substance. Or was it they played someone half decent? Was it Liverpool? Yeah, they played someone half decent.
Liverpool,
and Liverpool was a shambles. Like Liverpool weren't Liverpool; they were a frigging joke. And they got a draw.
And Kane should have got sent off in that game, but that's for another show, I'm sure. But if I have any nerves, it has nothing to do with Conte and Spurs. My nerves are based on how depleted our squad looks like, because so far Conte hasn't showed me anything to scare me. Like they've not put away any teams. They're not looking defensively solid in a sense, because they concede a lot of chances in every game. So my fear would come from our lack of players versus what Conte is doing at Spurs right now, personally.
Yeah.
But it's a North London derby, so like I wouldn't even be surprised if you throw on last 20 minutes and Amari Hutchinson, and he would have a good game in that sort of game because it's a derby. Not I wouldn't start playing him in the league regularly, but for a North London derby, a Halem boy must have grown up watching and knowing how important that game is. So you never know. Last 20-minute cameo, nick a goal, like even one of the youngsters, or a Patino even in that game. Any other game in the league, I wouldn't be too excited to play them because of Halen. They know how important that game is. From the moment they enter that academy, they probably know how important that game is. So
it's the first lesson. It's the first lesson. It's the first lesson. I sit down. Okay, guys, sit down in class. Ready? Fuck Tottenham. And they do that for about 4 months, right? It doesn't stop. It's just the same thing, right? And after they've got it in their heads, right, they get it like a little recording when they go to sleep. It's just whispering it in their ears. Yeah. So look, to be honest, guys, I'm not scared either. I honestly think that the Conte effect, he's supposed to be world-class manager. I can't see it. I can't see it. I'm not.
Yeah, I think he's come out a few times and has almost said how bad that team is, hasn't he? He keeps. I think if it was Mourinho,
he's talking his levels against Chelsea.
Yeah, and I think if Mourinho said what he said, everyone would have been on to him because Mourinho loves an excuse and blame everyone else. But Conte said it a few times. This squad's nowhere near where it should be. This team's nowhere near Chelsea. So yeah, he's firmly putting the onus out there that he needs players. So yeah, for me, there's nothing to really be scared of. We just got no mistakes. I think that's the key. Is make no mistakes. And we should have enough to hurt them, really and honestly.
I think we go at them. We have to go
Look,
at them.
It's a mad one because like I think Conte needs a summer till we start seeing what he can really do with that squad. Let's be honest. So if there was ever a time to play a Conte Spurs side, it was now. Like especially as depleted as our squad is. Like if this was this time next season, and we had this weaker squad, I'd be extremely nervous about what they could do to us. But don't get me wrong, I still believe Conte is the better manager out of Arteta and Conte. But I just think Spurs were a lot further away than they thought they were at the start of this season. And Conte, as you said in the press conference, he's trying to manage the fans' expectations. Like for that, the fact that he's even in the running for the top four, I blame that on how we started the season and how up and down our squad is because of the youth in our squad and in our manager.
Yeah, definitely. Your son's here in the comments. He's saying Liverpool struggle against teams with 10 men. I think they struggle when they miss their 2 superstars, and I think that's the issue. And that's why Klopp's been moaning so much because he knows once one of them catch an injury, it's a different ball game for him. So I've done my part. Need to organise my videos as I normally use the to save music mixes from. Jay, they're talking about liking and commenting on the post. So yeah, Jason, keep it up. Appreciate making sure everyone's liking the content. It comes in handy. Holding is Steve Bold. So we got our Keown, we got our Adams, and now we got our Steve
Holding
Bold.
is Steve Bold. You know who Holding is? Philip Sendros. That's who Holding is, bro.
Oi, wow, that's Sendros, mate. Now Holding's probably about as good as Vermaelen was. Like it's probably about as good as
Vermaelen was better than Holding, bro.
He wasn't the best defender, but he could nick a goal, bro.
Vermaelen was better than Holding. Come on, don't do that to Vermaelen.
But let's not disrespect Holding too much. He has done all right. He's been a good servant.
He done all right last night.
When you actually consider he's cost us 2 mil, we've got a lot of value out of Holding over the time.
How can you be up and coming for 6 years, bro? Come on.
Aunts Carl Jenkinson.
Oh shit! Where is that player?
I don't know. Wait, I know he went to Nottingham Forest, and I ain't heard from him since. To be fair, he's probably still asked to play somewhere down the line. He's probably still training with us. I don't even know. I love Jenko, man. He's a cult hero, isn't he?
Indeed.
Yeah, we've all been waiting for the After Mello transfer live, but it got postponed, cancelled. So yeah, I think we will get him, but I just don't think it'd be ready for Sunday. Well, it's not going to be ready for Sunday.
I'm just hoping that because of how depleted our squad is, they give us some extra time to register a player, maybe till tomorrow. I just hope.
Yeah.
Or they postpone the game. We do a clock.
Yeah. Well, how would you feel about the postponement? Would you take it?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing right now.
Yeah. Because again, I'm trying to think where they'd put it in. They couldn't put it in next week because we got obviously Liverpool, so it would have to go in the week after, which would be. Let's see the date of that. Sorry, my calendar can't get up. So next week
we ain't got no European football, so reschedules like that aren't going to really hurt us that much.
Yeah, I think it'd be like the 26th-ish, around between Tuesday the 25th and Thursday the 27th. It would get put in for then, I would suggest. So we'd probably have some players back. Odegaard would definitely, I reckon, will be back. Obviously, the Cup of Nation players might not be, but you'd hope Tomiyasu will be kind of fully fit by then, and as I said, Odegaard, Smith Rowe be fully fit. Xhaka's suspension might have been over by then as well, even though everybody wouldn't want to see him in the team anyhow. But let's see. But right, let's get on to some predictions.
Name again, Gamza.
Sorry, number 34. Number 34.
Xhaka and Mustafi, man, fuck me dead. Both of them, honestly. You think they were brothers, mate? Like seriously.
And don't forget David Luiz in there as well for a few years. So
yeah. At least David was more sneaky. Mustafi and Xhaka, it's obvious. It's like they just go in there and just go bang. They don't even try to hide it. You know what I mean? Luiz was good.
Nothing discreet. Nothing discreet. He's banning you from the armory for that comment on holding, by the way, Steve. And
I'm gonna come
Jason
knocking on
said,
your door. We'll see who's banning who.
Jason's also said everything less than a draw will be criminal for us this weekend, even with how depleted our squad is. I
Yeah.
believe that our squad has more fight for the manager than Spurs do by the sound of things. Yeah, Spurs
Spot
look
on,
like they're in
bro.
the mud.
Spot on.
Did you see
Yeah.
the story this week about how? But it said Barcelona was shocked that Spurs were willing to pay 27 million for Emerson Real. Like, they were
Well,
like,
really?
oh, they want to pay that money. All right, send them
Take
off.
it.
Send them off. Take it, mate.
They got
Yeah.
they like the name. They thought that name Emerson Royale. It's a great name. It'll sell a lot of jerseys, but unfortunately, that's all it does. It sold a few jerseys, and now he's not doing
Didn't do
fuck
nothing
all.
else.
They're
They
already
didn't do
looking to bring in
nothing else.
Traore.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But Flyvich and Danilo are coming. I love his optimism because knowing Leon, they always take a long time in negotiations. So yeah, I don't think we get Gamirez. I think that's kind of been put to bed until the summer.
Be
But
happy
yeah,
with
let's see
Vlahovic,
what
but
happens.
be very happy
Oh,
with Vlahovic.
Got to pray for that one. So
Yeah,
guys,
bro.
we're going into predictions. What's your prediction for Sunday's game, Aussie Gooner?
Honestly, I was hoping that Odegaard was going to be back. Because now I know that Odegaard won't be back, I'm going to go a little bit nicer and say 2-0 Arsenal.
Clean sheet.
They won't
Niger.
score. They're shit. They won't score.
I will be honest with you. If like with the way the starting lineup looks in my head right now, I'm gonna go with a 2-2, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I hope Steve's right. I hope Steve's right, to be honest.
There's no confidence. See, he doesn't believe. You see,
Yeah,
you seem like the Arsenal players. We all believe. There's no belief.
Bro, it's tough. No Tommy, no Partey, no
Tommy
Odegaard,
could be back.
no Smith
Tommy could be back.
If Tommy's back, I'm a bit more optimistic. But it's the creative link to set up the chances. Like we need that either ESR or Odegaard. Is ESR in with a chance of making the game?
I presume so. I think it was just a slight lock while he was out last week, but no, I don't know. I think I'll be waiting for Arteta's interview. If I'm honest.
I think Arteta's leaving it to last, last minute.
Because last night, at the beginning of the game, he said ESR was close to being involved with the squad last night. So you never know.
Yeah,
if he's back, then I might do another prediction, innit?
If he's back, you're going to be smiling. You'll be like, "Ooh, now it's on." Scratch that. Scratch that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal. I'll go in the middle of you two as such. It sounds safe. There's no Harry after how the referee tried to give Spurs a penalty and a goal the other day. I know what they're up to. So yeah, I think here it's just everything just lines up for him to score, don't it? It'd be his 250th career goal against. You know what I mean? At White Hart Lane against Arsenal. Yeah. So yeah, I think we win. I do think we win. I've got a bit of belief in us. But I do think Tottenham will score. Actually, every time I say Tottenham will score, we keep a clean sheet. So I'm going to say Tottenham will score. And I think it's the first time the fans are going to be at the new White Hart Lane, aren't they? So that might have a big effect on it.
White Hart Lane.
I think that would definitely help us. The away support is fantastic, and again, they're going to be buzzing for it. And I think that would give us the extra 20%. Not that we need it to beat that scum down the road. So
we're
pretty confident.
Rubbish, mate. They need a prayer, mate. They need a fucking prayer as well, mate. They need every god on their side. The guys they're a bloody joke. Come on.
Yeah, I think it's time we put them back in their place. I think we're putting them back in their place like we did at Emirates. Absolutely slammed them. So, yeah, let's just go. Arsenal, just do what you got to do. Just do what you got to do. But get plenty of rest over today. Little light session tomorrow, and then just go and deliver what you've been doing when we've been playing that scum in recent games. So, guys, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining. Guys, in the comments, it's always appreciated. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm going to be watching on my Oculus on Sunday. I got my seat, row D, CF. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I'm watching too, bro, but I'm doing it at 3 a.m. here in Australia.
I don't know how you do it. That's dedication.
You know what that is? That's you got to do it. You got to do something for the club, and that means watching these games at 3:30 in the fucking morning, and then going to work.
I respect
Jesus,
it, man.
mate.
I
Yeah, you're good.
respect it.
You're
Well,
good.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
we
win.
respect you. But yeah, we are. And again, there'll be a match reaction straight after that. And hopefully, if Arsenal win, we're not going to schedule the time. We're going to make sure it's after the Paxton Road boys have finished their show because we have got to be in them comments. So
Yeah,
yeah,
100%,
yeah.
100%.
So guys, love as always, and we out of here.